Golf Central on YouTube is brought to you by the new Paradigm Woods and Irons from Callaway.
Thanks for checking in with us on YouTube. I'm George Savaricas. An absolutely wild finish at the RBC Canadian Open. Nick Taylor ends a 69-year drought to become the first Canadian to win this event since 1954.
All right, we'll get started. We'd like to welcome the winner of the 2023 RBC Canadian Open, Nick Taylor, to the interview room. Nick, you're the first Canadian since 1954 to win this country's National Open. What does it mean to you?
I heard someone shout out there everything, and I don't know any other word to use other than that. I think it's a tournament that we've circled on our calendar since probably junior golf, but ever since being on PGA Tour, this is one that we want to do as well as we can in, and the crowd support was the most unbelievable thing I've probably ever experienced in my life. To kind of break that curse, if you want to call it, is I'm pretty speechless. I don't think it's going to sink in for quite some time what happened today.
Nick is the fourth Canadian to win on the PGA Tour this season. That's the most in Tour history, and he moves to number 6 in the FedEx Cup. So Nick, as you let these emotions sink in and you look forward to the rest of the season, you had a big finish in Phoenix. You get the win here. What does it set you up to do the rest of the season?
It sets me up great for the FedEx Cup playoffs. I wasn't in a good spot, but needed to keep the pedal down. I feel like, the play is so deep out here that, I took some time off and had a couple missed cuts, and I was falling quite far down the list. So, I knew my game was where it was. Might have been a little bit rusty coming off some time off, but, everything just kind of clicked here the last 3 days. That's probably the best I've struck the ball. Tee to green, and the putter was hot. It's been great for 4 or 5 months now, but to shoot 20 under the last 3 days, I definitely had everything working, which is very rare. So that was special.
All right, we'll take some questions out here. If you have a question, we'll get a microphone to you. We'll start right over here on the left with John.
Want me to go first?
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't realize you had the microphone.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome to the longest press conference of your life.
I'll take it.
Take us through the winning putt.
It was long, obviously. We knew that the finish line would be the best way to put it. We knew about the last 15 feet because I had that in the second playoff hole. With the rain coming down, the slope, obviously, we knew it was going to be slow. It's so easy to leave that putt 10 feet short from how far I was. And to get it there was obviously a bit of a surprise, honestly. But I felt since we learned a bit from that second putt that we knew generally what I was going to do. There's a lot of luck for that to go in the hole. The speed is all I was looking about. Tommy probably had about 12 feet, and I expected him to make it almost like the first playoff hole. So I was trying to get as close as I could to essentially know that he had to make or miss to keep going. So for that to drop was a huge surprise, but an amazing one.
Pass it to your right, please, Jason. Sorry, one back there.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Obviously, this has been the holy grail of Canadian golf for 7 decades. What do you think is the next target for Canadian golf?
I think major championships is what we're all striving for. I said it this week. This is 5th on the list, I think, from the 4 majors. With Mike Weir having the Masters 20 years ago, Corey's played unbelievable the last 2 or 3 years in a lot of major championships. He's been inspiring to play well at the top of the best fields out here. And that's the next step, Hopefully I'll be in a lot more of them. I haven't been in enough as I'd like I've really my whole career. So, I think next week there's 7 of us there, so hopefully we can do the same thing. The more time we're up at the top of the leaderboard, lucky bounces like that will go in the hole, so hopefully that starts happening.
Congrats, pal.
Thanks.
14 months ago, when you and I were trading messages about your equipment, some of the things that were going on in your life, and I sensed a bit of a crossroads at your age, at 35. Was there a crossroads? Were you feeling like you needed to make some changes for Nick Taylor to go from here to here? What was your thought process when you and I were kind of going back and forth on that? And how does that correlate to today?
after last season, I've with all the changes that were happening going to the playoffs, I snuck in there. My first week with Dave Markle, my caddy, was at Wyndham. We snuck in. I missed the cut the first playoff event, but I knew what I was doing needed a bit of a tweak. So that fall, or not in the fall, sorry. I think we had 5 weeks off or so. Chris Bertram is a mental performance coach. I went and started seeing him. We kind of set a plan out, like a good year plan. Started changing a few things. Nothing crazy, but a few. I went, I was doing work with my coach, Mark McCann, Gareth Waflewski, and then locally when I was in Abbotsford for that time off, I went and saw Ryan Hawley. He's more like he has like dual foot pressure mats, so it's just another, I thought, element maybe that could help me. And, you know, the best thing that Dave has been for me, I think, is realizing, because I've been around him a long time, is that I am pretty good, and he tells me that every day. And there's certainly times that I, you know, probably lost sight of that. And he's been incredible for me on the golf course. And it's shown this year. It's been, you know, shots that I probably typically don't make, I'm making. And I think he has that magic for whatever reason. So yeah, it was a productive 5 weeks in a sense where I've kind of wiped the slate clean and wanted to. I didn't want to revamp anything, but just look at it hard and be like, where can I get a little bit better? And the more focus has been kind of 1% a day, one little thing a day, and stick to the process. And you know, leading up to this whole season, it's been a very consistent season for me. So this is obviously the cherry on top.
We'll go to Adam, then Lucas, then John.
Nick, congratulations. It's
Thank you.
obviously super early, but have you allowed yourself to realize maybe the trickle-down inspiration that this win might have for another generation of Canadian golfers?
Yeah, I think it's hard to imagine because I feel like I'm still that kid. But, you know, I go to a handful of golf courses when I'm back in Abbotsford in the summers, and it's great to see junior players and, you know who I am, say they're big fans, playing golf. So I know this will only help that generation. You know, I look up to Mike Weir, and if kids say the same thing about me, that's the biggest compliment I probably could ever get. But we're all trying to do that out here. We're trying to inspire the next generation to be as good as we can be.
And I assume you and Andy spoke already. How was that conversation with your family back home?
There were some tears. There was, you know, I got to say hi to Charlie, and he was probably shocked when what the hell was going on. I made a big shot, though. That's what he said. So, yeah, it was a quick call to say hi, but I'll be talking to him later, obviously.
Lucas?
Hey, Nick, congratulations. What did it mean to have Adam, Corey, and Mike there on the green, not only at the 72nd hole, but then to join in the celebration when you won the Canadian Open?
It means everything. You know, I feel like we all support each other so much. If I'm to stick around, you know, I think all of us have said it this week. If us individually weren't the people to win, we really want another Canadian to do it and break this long drought. So to have them there, it's amazing. You know, I've looked up to Mike Weir and watched him play golf for so long, and for him to be there is special. Same with Adam and Corey and kind of all the guys.